The reviews of President Park Geun-hye's four-day state visit to China are in, and both sides of the political aisle have expressed satisfaction with the results. To examine those results and the challenges facing South Korea-China relations moving forward, we are joined this week by lawmaker Yoo Ki-june of the ruling Saenuri Party. Lawmaker Yoo Ki-june of the ruling Saenuri Party is a three-term lawmaker with a background in law. He has also worked as a spokesman and the chief of the legal department within the ruling party. As a diplomatic specialist in the ruling Saenuri Party, Yoo accompanied President Park Geun-hye during her visit to the U.S. in May. And he also visited Beijing ahead of the recent Korea-China summit. Lawmaker Yoo, thank you very much for being on the show. Now, President Park's state visit to China came at a very critical juncture, what with all that's gone on here on the Korean Peninsula in recent months. Considering those circumstances and what has gone on here, how would you assess the president's visit to China?
I think it is a very meaningful event because we have a formal diplomatic relation with China over 21 years, our relation between Korea and China is just a normal relation, but it changed to the strategic country, but our relation is not evolved in such a big event as yet. But because of this kind of visit, I think the two-country relation will become much more deeper than before.
And we'll certainly get into the specifics of President Park's trip to China in a little bit, but let's first talk about the background surrounding the trip. President Park, of course, inaugurated in February, just about a year or so after Kim Jong-un took power in North Korea. However, of the two leaders, President Park was the first to visit China and meet with the leadership there. What are we to read into that?
After her inauguration in February, her first visit flating is the America. It was in last May. After that, she planned to visit China just after U.S., but before Japan. It means the Korea is number one trading country is China, not Japan, not America anymore. So we want to make our relation with China more deeper than ever. So because of that, she selected her second visiting place, China.
And you were in Beijing in May at the same time that a special envoy from North Korea, Vice Marshal Choi Ryong-hae, was in China as well for talks. What was the atmosphere like at that time? There are some who are saying that Vice Marshal Choi was not treated very well while he was there and had a very difficult time in meeting with President Xi Jinping.
Yeah, I didn't know the special envoy, the Choi, is at the time in Beijing, but I know I knew when he was in Beijing, he treated kind of poorly because his last meeting with the Chinese President Xi Jinping is not confirmed until his return flight is confirmed. But it is just I was heard. It is not confirmed. I cannot say this is confirmed or not. But the other one is he suddenly changed his clothes from the military to just a normal suit because the Chinese president do not want to meet him in his military clothes. Yeah. Because of this kind of thing, I think the Chinese attitude toward the North Korea's special envoy is not usual as before. Yeah.
There's a lot of people trying to figure out exactly what is going on between China and North Korea right now. China says it views its relationship with North Korea as a quote-unquote normal state relationship, no different from any other bilateral partnership that it shares with other countries. This according to Wang Chadui, the head of the International Department of the Chinese Communist Party. When you hear that, they consider this to be a normal state relationship. What does that mean to you?
Well, I was there when the Wang Chadui said in this way. I think his word has two meanings. One is when you think about China is a kind of the strong ally for the North Korea. This is what our typical thought about the North Korea. But nowadays China want to try to change such a thought, because China tried to persuade North Korea not to have nuclear tests, not to have the missile tests in other countries. But regardless of that, they are not successful to persuade North Korea. If outsiders think that China has much more power over North Korea, they are in a position to persuade North Korea, but because they think just a normal state relationship, so they have no power to control North Korea. That is the first meaning. The other one is they want to share their burden with the other country. It means the North Korea create lots of problem in Northeast Asia, even to the world, and this kind of problem is not to the burden of China only. This kind of problem should be burden of all of the world. That's what the Wang Chadui told us. Yeah.
There's a lot of, again, questions surrounding the relationship between China and North Korea. China, of course, been the largest benefactor and strongest ally of North Korea for quite some time now. However, recent events suggest that maybe the two sides are growing apart a little bit, that they're maybe not as close as they used to be. From your perspective, is that the reality of the situation, or is there something more going on behind the scenes here?
Well, we cannot say just a thing can change over one night, but things get changed just time by time. If we trace a certain thing change, we need some time to find out. When I first visit China many years ago, first time is just 5 years ago with the President Park. At the time, they want to maintain the North Korea as their safeguard to protect the Chinese mainland. But because their persuasion revealed as brutalist in making the North Korea nuclear-free nation, but regardless of their many efforts to such kind of the persuasion, they now want to change their attitude toward the North Korea.
So you see a shift from just 5 years ago to now?
Yes. In simple word, the center of gravity shifted from Pyongyang to Seoul. Yeah.
Let's get back to President Park's visit to China now and talk a little bit about that. It was minted with this slogan, 심신지려 in Korean, which means roughly a journey to accumulate empathy and trust. Was that a slogan that President Park came up with herself?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe she selected such a word on her own because we regard the President Park is just not simple the political person. She is just the woman of the principle and trust. So she want to choose such a slogan to express her the feelings about China, and she want to maintain such principle in the next 2 or 3 decades more.
This word trust is one that we've heard a lot in the past few months in terms of China-South Korea relations. Why is that word trust being emphasized so very much?
Yeah, you know, trust cannot be built in 1 or 2 days. Trust can be built over a long period of time. Also, the trust can be built upon the expectation of the other people. So, if we want to build a trust from other person, we need the time and some the sincere attitude. So, because of this kind of the principle, she want to set up the trust principle with China, and she want to give a kind of sincerity to the China, and she want to develop such the evolved relation with China. And upon this kind of the relation, our relation with China will have a pace, next pace, I believe. Yeah.
And much more time for President Park and President Xi Jinping to get to know each other. No question that President Park was treated with extreme respect when she was there in China. What do you think China expects from President Park?
Yeah, two-country relation was in Korean word we say the 경열정맹. It means the economically active but the politically cold. But after her visit to China, I think it will become a 경열정열. It means the economically active, also the politically active. You know, China has some problems. They have the territorial dispute with Japan. Also, some kind of the miscommunication with North Korea regarding the nuclear test. So they want to make South Korea much more closer than before. So because of this kind of reason, I think China offered the kind of the warm heart attitude for the President Park.
President Park also had a chance to meet with the top 3 leaders of China during her visit. That's really unprecedented for such a visit. Why do you think they place such a priority on making time for President Park?
You said it's unexpected?
Unprecedented.
Yeah. Unprecedented, okay. But I think it is expected because she is a very important person for the China. So she must have a chance to meet number 1 person Xi Jinping and number 2 Li Keqiang. Number 3, I think beside of the 1 to 3 person, she met some other important persons in economic area, also in the cultural area. She also went to the Xi'an, old city, to meet some important person in Xi'an city. Yeah.
So it didn't surprise you then, her meeting the 3?
I don't think it is surprising. It is expected for me.
President Xi Jinping, President Park Geun-hye, behind closed doors, they did talk about the North Korean nuclear program in specifics, talking about disarming and dismantling, discarding the North Korean nuclear program. However, in the joint statement that came out after the summit talks, those 2 terms were not mentioned, not a lot of specifics mentioned as well. They only agreed to work toward a nuclear-free Korean peninsula. Why do you think those specific words and those details were left out of that joint statement?
Well, there must be a difference between a summit meeting and work level meeting. You say some the topics. I think this kind of topics should be dealt by the working level. So if there is any initial summit meeting, there will be a working level meeting will follow. And the working level will talk in detail, in later, I believe.
There are differing opinions here, but more or less a strong message sent to North Korea by Presidents Park and Xi during that summit there. How would you like North Korea to respond in turn to the message that was sent to them?
Yeah, it's very difficult the nation to persuade. They must listen to what two nation leaders are saying, but that they still want to maintain two parts important. One is the economy, the other one is nuclear. We can. Some people say we cannot trace two horses at the same time, running in different direction. So if North Korea want to have nuclear and economy at the same time, it is not possible, I think. So if some event or if they realize what is their position in international field, I think they must follow what two nation leaders saying to them. Yeah.
North Korea did condemn President Park and President Xi's statement about the nuclear-free Korean Peninsula, or wanting to get to that eventually. North Korea really showing no signs of backing down, and considering that it seems as though they're being pushed more and more into a corner and being isolated now, what is your opinion on them possibly carrying out another provocation in the coming weeks or months?
Yeah. There is any kind of chance the North Korea will make any kind of the provocation toward the South Korea. But recently there is the foreign ministers meeting in Brunei. There is 27 countries there. All the prime ministers representing each country had a meeting. At the time, many countries have the same univocal voice, saying we need nuclear-free North Korea. We need the denuclearization of North Korea. Only one country objected. I think you know that.
I'm guessing North Korea.
Yeah.
Right.
It's 26 country has the unanimous vote for that such a decision. Only one country is North Korea. It means the present address of the North Korea in international area. So because of this kind of the reality, I think the North Korea has no other choice but to accept the international recommendation. It means that they must give up their nuclear weapons.
Those were the things that were talked about between Presidents Park and Xi. Let's talk about the things that were not talked about, at least discussed or released in the details following the summit. Repatriating North Korean defectors, illegal Chinese fishing boats in Korean waters, China's attempts to distort Northeast Asian history. These things were not discussed, or at least not released in the details. Why is that?
As I told you before, there must be a difference between summit meeting and the working level meeting. Your topics should be dealt with in the working level meeting. I think we will have with the Chinese officials in dealing with this kind of the issues in later stage, I believe.
President Park did offer to return the remains of hundreds of sets of remains, actually, of Chinese soldiers that were killed during the Korean War. What is the significance of that?
In Korean War, I think more than 500,000 the Chinese soldier has been dead. We in just the humanitarian region, we want to return the bodies of the Chinese soldier to China. Also, because of that, we need the Chinese return can be made to South Korea.
You mentioned earlier the economic relationship that China and South Korea share. We can't overlook the economic aspect of this trip that President Park took. Of course, they pushed for the completion of the bilateral free trade agreement. They came to an agreement on extending the currency swap arrangement as well. What kinds of economic benefits are we going to see in the near future between the two nations?
Yeah, in economic sense, China and Korea become a big partner in world economy. The trading volume of two countries trade is around $300 billion US per year. So we want to develop more economic ties with China, and also in order to protect our sometimes unstable financial market, we want to protect our national financial market. If we have such kind of yuan and won swap program, I think we will have more chance to protect our national financial market. Yeah, that's why we want to have a deeper economic relationship with China.
You were with the president in May during her trip to the United States. You helped prepare for this trip to China in June and the beginning of July there. The president's diplomacy has really been on display over the past couple of months. When you look at that diplomacy, President Park Geun-hye's diplomacy, what do you see as being the strengths of it?
Yeah, she always stands for a person of the principle and trust. I think it's her one strong point. The other one is she prepared the national language speech. In America, she had a English speech in the American Congress. Also, in China, she also prepared and have a speech in Chinese world. It says she want to say some sincere word to the Chinese and American people in their language. I think its meaning is very great. I think. Yeah.
Now, with these two major summits behind her, we have to look ahead a little bit. Korea always trying to balance its interests between China and the United States. It's always a challenge. It's always a difficult thing to do. What challenges remain right now for South Korea following these summits with Presidents Obama and now President Xi?
Yes, U.S. used to be our strong ally. Also, will remain as our strong ally for the long future. Also, China is a new partner in economic area and other area. So we want to develop these two country relationship in balance area, balance meaning. So I think in economic also the geographical meaning, we want to develop more deeper relation with China. Also we need our protection from the U.S. Also, we will keep the same position in America.
Lawmaker Yoo Ki-june, thank you very much for taking time to speak with us today and providing your insights. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.